We're going live, guys.
Yep. And we are live. Isn't that what Gentleman of Crypto usually says?
And
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
There you go. And we are live. Listen, Mr. King, if you hear me, man, don't slam me with trademark.
copyright laws.
Yes. Stakk Nation, Crypto Warriors, Bkcrypto Nation. Okay? Happy Saturday or happy Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome back to the channel. As you know, we are always evolving. Because the moment you stop moving forward, that's when you die.
Here we go.
This is facts of life. Ask your mother. Ask your father. You will see that the progress came to a halt when they gave birth to your sorry ass. And they decided that this is where I want to settle. Anyway, let's keep it pushing if I get all of us.
Bang, bang.
Oh, incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, check this out, okay? Welcome to the live stream. We are in here with the BK Squadron, okay? With no further ado, you've probably seen some of the previous videos, but we're going to do a light introduction again. We have Miss Roshana Bennett in the house, man. Financial soul healing. Has your soul been touched before?
It's been touched.
Come on, man. Come on now. As has all of our souls, of course, we have the champion Dylan in the Hiza.
So we are here.
Would you consider yourself the king of DJing activity, sir?
Yeah, I would somewhat say that, right? Yeah, I'm a DJ. 1,000% DJ.
DJ too.
I kid. I'm in the front of that train with you.
DJ
From a
Dylan.
maxi to a DJ.
Hey,
Dylan.
Yeah, right. The
you know,
rest of it.
I intentionally dropped my maxi waves because the Bitcoin maxis actually pissed me off.
Hey, man.
Because I feel that there is something that is better than a maxi, and it is someone who has the ability to use their own brain.
That is one of our topics today, by the way.
Yes, sir. Anyway, we continue here. We have Miss Kim in the Hiza.
Hi.
Looking posh. Hola. And of course, Mr. Sal with that massive Bitcoin behind him. What's up, champion?
What's up, fellas?
Man, listen, man. I am so happy we're doing this first live stream
Oh, yeah.
as a squad. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put it there. Double up.
Yeah,
Take it away, sir.
Hey, man, that is actually one of the objective of this season is that, each time we get on X and we're talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin in Africa, Bitcoin in the Black community, we don't see enough of us.
Yeah.
And then some of the X spaces that we've joined, we've not been allowed to either talk or we've either been pushed out of the conversation.
Oh, they get offended at our logo saying it's an NFT, But people that have only 1.5 brain cell. Damn, bro. I woke up this morning asking for violence, brother. Carry on, man. Let me not say
You want
anything
to
else.
give them the balance?
Yeah.
You must want to give them the balance right now.
Hey, man.
No problem.
We'll save it for another day. Carry on. But I agree with what you're saying, the representation. For sure.
Yeah, so we are trying to bring more Black representation into the Bitcoin space. I know there was a couple of spaces like that last bull market. That was the Black Bitcoin. Was it Telegram page that we're part of?
Oh, the Black Bitcoin billionaires?
Yeah, Black Bitcoin billionaires and all that stuff.
Yeah, doing very powerful stuff.
Yeah, we've not seen a lot of that this season, so we are leading the way, guys.
Absolutely. Well, we'll hand it over to you, Ro. What are your thoughts on this one?
Oh, they really caught me off guard. I don't
Just
know.
in general.
In general, I think I was listening to a conversation last night with 19 Keys and Vaughn, and it was talking about the American Requiem. It was talking about Black men. It was talking about the conversation of politics. And honestly, we need more conversation, more representation about ourselves. And I think that there is enough. Here's the challenge. Most people don't tend to look for it. We are on platforms, and we're giving advice, we're getting information, we're getting wisdom and knowledge. But again, if you're looking only for who controls the media, then you're not going to see us. Do you understand? So you have to want to search for it. And the biggest conversation that they had was talking about Africans being representative of when it comes to America versus the Black Americans. And the truth is this: why there's a separation is that when you're in Africa, you're seeing everyone that represents you in particular places, such as the teacher, government officials, the police, right? When you think about in America, just be honest, we've been whitewashed. We haven't been able to see ourselves. So I think having these channels, these platforms, and speaking out on the truth of what's happening with our diaspora basically makes it more of a synergy to the world that we are here and we are part of this transformation.
Could some of that be the fact that maybe we don't work together?
I think that the narrative is that we actually do. But when you're looking at mainstream, who controls the media and the new conversation of media, it's sideways to an extent, right? So I think more of us are actually working together, but we want to stick in that narrative of we don't support, we're not building together. That's a lie. I mean, when you look at the statistics, which are not showing, there are more Black African Americans, Africans around the world who are literally now investing. That percentage has increased. Earn Your Leisure has talked about it. So again, it's either your cup is half full or half empty, or where you want to vibrate. We are doing it. We're investing, but the main media is not going to talk about it because it empowers us.
That is why we have X, and that is why we're having our first show on X, so that we cannot be blocked by YouTube.
Well, I definitely agree with what we're saying there. I agree with what we're saying there, especially when it comes to recognizing the point in time when you are winning. Okay. Growing up, like say for me personally, I was growing up in Africa up until the point where, I came here, I don't know, 15 or something like that. But up until that point, okay, there's never really been a point in my mind where I thought to myself, oh man, I need to move a certain way because white people are overshadowing my existence. You see what I'm saying? It was not until when I came to this country that I actually started to realize that, wow, there's a whole group of people, Black people, that they don't think about the representation. And I see the effects of that type of stuff, right? Because back then, it's like if I'm walking down the street, I'm not even thinking about it. But here you're walking down the street, and then you have to now be aware of the fact that if there's a white person over there, they might cross the street.
Oh, or be in the store with an hoodie,
Yeah.
and then they send the police officer after you.
Exactly. But that is what that representation or the lack of representation does. And of course, the other thing that Arby also said that was really important is the fact that right now, I know that Black people are working together. We see ourselves, we talk about it on the show a lot of times about all these African nations that are now rising. You do not rise by not working, together, right? And so I think it's important that we should be able to identify those things. I agree with you there, Arby, and recognize the areas where we are winning. Right? We have to recognize the areas where we're winning, and we need to speak about it more. Because there is never a hesitation of people who are, or a lack of people who are trying to bring, the Black community down in one way or another. The same thing applies to Bitcoin as well. If you look at what has been happening in the Bitcoin and the crypto space over the past few years, you will see that more and more the banks are going into panic mode, right? A lot of the things that they will usually do to stifle progress and remove, wrong screen, and remove, I guess, any sort of disruption to their system that they have in place. Those same things have been failing recently. So I think that we need to recognize when we are winning and be able to push that message out to others as much as we can. But I could be wrong about this. Dylan, what are your thoughts?
Man, I think that first of all, we need to see each other, see Black folks in the space doing things. The visuals are very important, right? You have to see yourself doing something to really even be able to manifest it. So we got to see ourselves in the space. But I also think that the media is doing a good job on like making people believe that it wasn't true. As you can see, there was a video a couple of years ago with Jimmy Dimon telling folks, don't buy Bitcoin. It's garbage, it's crap. But at the same time, they were buying it behind the scenes. So there's a whole system at play that was trying to make us not be aware of it. So I think we definitely have to see visuals of us doing it, and then other folks are going to realize it. Because again, there's a whole system that's trying to block you from seeing what's actually happening, and it's happening every day. But those with the eyes are open, they're seeing it. It's just us, some of our people, that need to understand that it's happening now, and time to take the blinders off and jump into this. So it has to be a effort amongst all of us, I think, like our group right now and other groups around the world to try to help us to get to that synergy. And it's happening.
Yeah, I think it's a little. Can I just speak real quick? I think it's a little, even a little more than that. I think that the fact that many people of color still don't invest in the market. I know many do, but many don't. Many don't understand it, and a lot of people don't feel that, or they don't know somebody who they can ask because they don't have these role models in their families and that sort of thing. So I think what's really, really important is being accessible. Like for an organization like Bkcrypto and Stakk and so forth, it's like being more accessible to people where they feel comfortable being able to ask the questions and not being made to feel like stupid
safe.
or significant. Exactly.
Yeah, safe.
Mm-hmm.
People can ask these questions because, like granted, we have a lot of people who are savvy, but everybody hasn't known about crypto who's coming to our doors, and we've, taken the time to educate them on it and everything. And so, and then it's a each one teach one situation, so more people who gain a little bit of knowledge, they can talk to their family, friends,
right.
And then there's going to be a snowball effect. But just as you said, Dylan, it's just like the institutions have, they're late to the party. They had wanted to basically roll back, this Bitcoin train and currency train so that they could get in and purchase the asset at a reduced rate. And so that's basically what's been happening over these last few years while the countries have been getting their policies in place. And they've been making themselves aware of the technology and educating themselves. And then now they're like, oh, okay, you guys can come in now. Now we've filled our coffers. Now you guys can come in and buy the assets from us. That's basically what's going on.
But Kim, to your point, isn't that the same narrative, Kim, though, that has been happening around the world? That narrative has been consistent. And like Dylan said, when the blinders are open, then you're aware of it because you are understanding the system that has played throughout decades. And I think that Bkcrypto and Stakk really explains that. Some are going to see, some are not going to see. But when we start looking at patterns, as Stakk talk about trading, and our macro guy Ansel talks about patterns, rhythms, right, and cycles, then you open up differently. Yeah, because it's still the same game.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say this though. We're saying this positively, but I've been in the space for a while, trying to teach people in our community how to trade, try to educate them about Bitcoin, and I just find it very unfortunate that we tend to believe more in the media, because I guess that is where we get our information from. And we need, like you are all saying, we need more of these communities to better educate our people. But right now, they strongly, heavily believe in CNN and Fox News, which has been lying to them about Bitcoin for the longest. And when you tell them to download X, all the false information that they've been told about X is what they believe. So they don't think that getting the right information will ever come from X or joining a community like ours. How does that ever get solved?
If I can jump in here, this quote this week that I found, it said, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." So we're going through a phase of having everyone has to take their own steps in unlearning what we've been indoctrinated to. whether it's the media, this or that. Being in the Bitcoin space, it allows us and it helps us to think that, to understand that decentralization, there's a purpose for that, right? So what's happening now? The media is being decentralized. You have platforms like Twitter, you have platforms like TikTok, you have all of these other iHeartRadio. There's so many different outlets to go to find alternative media. And that's what needs to get into the psyche of everyone. Like you were saying, most people are so indoctrinated to look at CNN, to look at MSNBC, to look at the mainstream media as their credible source. But we understand through going through the Bitcoin journey that those sources are not the most credible. And so you really have to gravitate outside and look at these other sources, decentralized sources like Bitcoin. You have Nostr now, where they're trying to build that up. And that's the way to go. It's a matter of unlearning. And unfortunately, it's hard to get people to understand that you have to go through this process of unlearning what you've been taught.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Well said.
Yes.
I agree with that. You know, speaking of that unlearning, before we switch topics here, one thing that I actually mentioned this in a few recordings ago. When you look at scammers, right? One of the things that they do is they use what they call misdirection. Misdirection can be a lot of things. Sometimes it's just causing a dramatic and chaotic situation in one direction so that people don't pay attention and then you're doing something else. It can also be taking something that is so simple and using a ton of complicated words or using a very complicated approach to describe it. That way it makes it very complicated for anyone to understand it. So you can pretty much go ahead and do whatever you want. When you look at the basically, when you look at the markets, okay, it's a very simple concept. Economics is extremely simple. It's literally addition and subtraction, or you divide and multiply. There is nothing else. You either have it or you don't. You exchange it, you have less. You go the other way, you might have more.
That's true.
And then you also have the side of supply and demand, right? More people want it, and there is less of it. The value goes up. Okay. If you look at what Lamborghini has done over the years, they say this is Lamborghini, this is exclusive. We're only going to make 100 of them. And so these 100 people go and splash a bunch of their money. And then next year they say, well, this is the Super Trofeo, but it's the same car. Limited edition as well. We're only going to make 100 of this. Then next year they say, oh, this is a Super Leggera. Limited edition, but it's the same car every time. Maybe we'll just put a wing on this one. A wing which you could buy and put on the other one that you bought many years ago, and it'll be the same thing. Okay. And then you look at from the financial side, you see that Wall Street essentially takes investing and slams on all these crazy, complicated terms and conditions and fees. The amount of paperwork you have to read through just to even open up a bank account. Nobody's going to read through this paperwork, right? So we have exactly. So they have terms and conditions that are hundreds of pages. Nobody's going to read that.
And then they trick you into thinking it's a free market.
Exactly. And then they can do whatever, and you have not read through the whole thing. So now they can just do whatever and then move it around and navigate the thing to fit whatever it is that is winning for them.
Yep. The money ain't yours.
GameStop.
Exactly.
Oh man, GameStop. Man,
yes.
Amazing.
Who knew that they could freeze the markets and get away with it?
Yeah.
Freeze the market, reposition themselves. Okay, you can turn it back on now.
Exactly, right? Exactly. They made an adjustment. Then they're like, all right, cool. We can but who are you going to take to court? Right? Who do you even call for customer service on something like that?
Yeah.
Who are you talking to? No one is there to help you out because it's such a massive, cumbersome organization that there is no one for you to deal with. So technically, if your money was in the stock market and you lost it, there is no way for you to get it back. But then if you tell someone that, hey, if you don't take care of your keys and you lose your Bitcoin, there's no one for you to call. And all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh my God, no! How come? It's risky." But the stock market is taking your stuff, and when they take it, all you're gonna do is sit there and just cry about it.
Pretty much.
But the stock market is taking stuff, and so is the banks.
Exactly, the banks is taking your stuff, right?
Come on.
So I remember in 2008, I think I was telling the guys this story the other day when AIG crashed. I called up and bought at 37 cents a share. The guy was like, "Whoa, why are you buying?" I said, "Well, it's too big to fail, of course." So people like me were smart enough to buy, but then when it got to a certain price, stock split. We helped you get out of this doldrum. Hello. Now this is how you repay me.
It wasn't just you.
Yeah.
Oh.
It wasn't just him. No, it wasn't just him at all.
That's what I'm saying. That's the game that we live in, that we understand. It's so rigged against us, right? It's so rigged, and it's so funny to see them. Like I saw the other day, Christine Lagarde talking about, Bitcoin it's doing some tomfoolery and this and that. There's this. I'm like, hold up, you got convicted for fraud. You got convicted for stuff when you were a European bank head. So again, these characters show us a side that we have to realize we have to unlearn.
So, wait, what did Elizabeth Warren do too with Satoshi award? Come on.
I saw something like that. She cited Satoshi award or something like that. But I was like, man, these people are ridiculous. At the same time, though, notice that she has made millions of dollars on Nvidia.
Yes.
Getting in
boom,
early,
boom, boom.
Right?
Yep.
Right
Nancy
in your
Pelosi.
face.
I'm sure
they're
Nancy
violating
too.
everything that they say they're about. And
Nancy
they expect
too.
everyone to be okay with it.
But that's what's funny, that this thing still exists. That's what the irony about this time right now, right? That this thing right now, these things exist right now as we speak. That Elizabeth Warren could do that, and no one questions it. It's not illegal. It's normal.
Yeah,
that's the
Remember
irony.
the same thing happened,
It's
right?
crazy.
And the same thing happened with members of our
Congress.
leaders right before COVID as well.
Yeah.
Remember?
Invested both in what is it, Pfizer and Moderna. Invested in those stocks.
And Johnson and Johnson.
Actually, didn't they dump a bunch of stuff before? What was it? Before the markets actually tanked during the COVID situation.
Couple of them.
Yeah. They dumped like airline stocks and so forth before they.
So what you see, I think, if we look at, kind of where history comes, when you see actual movements pop up like Occupy Wall Street, Occupy London, those types of movement, they're there for a little while, then they cut it.
The media does that. It's the media that does that.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
That's what I'm
talking about. The media does it because when you start to focus on the elites and the game that's being played all over this world, it's like, okay, we got to shift. We got to add in some race-based politics. We got to add in a little bit of this, a little controversy over here.
Are you talking about a situation like recently when the Epstein list came out and that just suddenly disappeared?
Yes.
That would be an example.
That would be an example. Yes. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And we can point to so many examples of that.
I have to say though, X was the only platform that kept that going forever. And it's almost like if you were not on X, you don't know what's going on around the world. Like what's going on in France right now, what's going on in Europe with the farmers right now,
what's going on in Africa,
what's going on in Africa right now with the with the countries pushing out the French and the British,
realigning with Russia
and China. Like
Nigeria,
a lot of people don't know this. It's like you only if you're on national media. You don't know any of all this stuff. You don't know that we're about to have a World War III because of the English and the Americans say they must attack Russia because Russia supposedly took advantage against them over some space technology.
So Kenny, imagine this, right? So imagine, okay, there was no cell phones back in the days, right? Do you imagine? So whatever we saw, right, visually and came from about 5 companies around the world.
Right.
I mean, that's insane power, because again, whatever they say is what you think and learn, right? Now it's changing, but I'm saying it's still the media and all this power that they have to change your mind. Look at CNN. Someone can see something right on CNN, right? And they're gonna believe it's true because it's CNN. They have the reputation already, right? So these things have to change because they have too much power, and it has to change. This is crazy.
And like
Absolutely.
I said,
There's no integrity.
Well, guys,
Did you guys get?
let me read one. I'm going to read a comment here. We have one comment here before we push on, and I think this mindset stuff is something we definitely got to dive into some more. So we have Himura from X. This one comes from X. Amazing, love it. And Himura says Substack allows for community pockets where you own your own your email list and connections, low fee rate. I'm not sure how this relates to what we're talking about.
No, it's part of creating a community that allows you to distribute information. But I think that is still too closed. You have to know that Substack for you to get that information. What we're saying is that we need a distribution system that everybody should have access to without us closing it in. Yes, like we need.
Well, maybe he's talking about, because if you have a community, you have pockets of communities where you own your own email. And let's say you have your own email server as this community. Maybe these people come together and pay together for this rates to manage that server. And so now in that community, when you send emails amongst each other, it is only
but it's
the
just
emails
the
of that
community.
group
The problem is
versus-
that the what has to get out there, which is why we're doing this on X right now. And again, let's kind of pull the reverse gear back in again and say, hey, how does this impact the Black community in the Bitcoin space, in the crypto space, us in general, right?
Absolutely.
For the longest, we did not even get caught up with the current financial system, with the current Ponzi scheme, because we just didn't know how to do it. Like you said, it's so complicated.
Yeah, man.
Now they're moving off of this system to a new system. In the meantime, they're still lying to you to say that, hey, they're never going to approve it. They have the SEC coming after you, the Federal Reserve coming after you. Name all the list of institutions coming after the technology that they themselves know that they're going to move to. They're already doing that right now.
Yeah.
You can see that with BlackRock and all these big institutions moving into it. Meanwhile, you are sitting down saying, oh, I'm waiting on regulations. Oh, it's risky. Oh, your money will be gone because you put it on the exchange. And it's like email. If you can use @sign.com to send an email, it's as simple as that, creating your own wallet and moving your Bitcoin into it.
Absolutely. Well, Roshana had something she wanted to bring up there.
Yes, I want to bring in, I didn't fully watch it, but maybe you have. Yesterday, where the El Salvador president Nayib,
I can bring that up actually.
If you could bring it up, I think that was a huge, realistic example of the changes that Bitcoin is doing, and the leaders who are saying, and I'm going to say it, F America, right? I'm going to take charge, and I'm going to make a difference for my people. So he invested in Bitcoin and managed to basically, I think it was $800 million in debt. That he had.
The only country to pay off the IMF.
That wiped out. So again, when you step in your power and you're ready for change, the leaders around the world doing it and they're speaking about it. So if you want to speak more on it, I didn't get to see it fully, but when I briefed it, I said this is what's happening around the world. They're not fully sharing.
Yeah, I found it here. I'm gonna play it in a little bit. Oh, this one you have here, Double O. This is the 23-minute version.
That's another version of it.
And the short version.
Yeah. Okay. I remember when Bukele first came on the scene and they adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. I mean, the mass media once again try to portray him in the light of a dictator like a Maduro.
That's right.
It never ceases to fail. Once somebody tries to go off the plantation, whatever you want to call it, of the dollar system, they don't like that. They don't like that at all, one bit. And that's what's happening. I saw the other day too, the ECB came out with a BS report. They posted that pretty much said Bitcoin has failed. at everything it's said to have done. And what happened was, because it came out on X, all the entire crypto community started to post pretty much stories and links and everything showing that you're lying. These things have been debunked already. And they had to recant. The next day, they came out with a new story that was a lot more positive about Bitcoin.
I don't think they realize how many people on X like right now. So
yes,
they're not seeing the shift that's happening, right? More people are going to be on X than listen to your actual news now. So actually, the news gets the news from X.
Yeah,
so
true that.
This is true.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay,
so guys, I'm sorry. I kind of lost track there when I was looking for this video. I think I found it here. Let me just pull up. I think one of the most powerful things this man spoke about was the fact when he was talking about who are we paying taxes to.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that clip.
Towards the end.
It was so insane. Was it towards the end?
Yeah, it's towards the end. It's all towards the end. I've watched the whole video multiple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like multiple times. That's exactly what he said, right?
Virgo in the house.
Absolutely.
Woo woo.
Hey, listen. Welcome. Okay, so what time frame?
Yeah, he just said it. Government is finding us treasury bonds.
Okay, so here we go, guys.
Okay. We can't hear the sound.
Oh, you can? Okay, stand by. Let me
imagine that, a young leader loving Bitcoin.
And do you remember the narrative that New York Times came out with a couple of years ago? It was false. He didn't pay off debt. He owed so much money.
Yep, it's enslaving his people. It's
unalive.
Yeah, they gotta come up with something.
Draconian leadership and put a bunch of people in prison.
Yeah. The same way how the Google AI, if you ask them about the Prime Minister of India, it is straight to like blast the Prime Minister of India. And then you ask the same question about Zelensky, and it's like, oh, well, this is a bit nuanced. You have to be careful about how you talk about this. Listen, these people are all garbage, man. You cannot believe shit
but
that comes out of this mainstream media.
But the sad part is that black people don't see this. They've just been so used to trusting.
That's why we are here. They're going to see this shit one way or another. Going like this. All right,
Do your own research.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Well, yeah. Let me know if you can hear it now. Here.
All right. Let's hear what's
really funding the government. So who's financing the government? Government is financed by treasury bonds, paper. And who buys the treasury bonds? Mostly the Fed. And how does the Fed buy them? By printing money. But what backing does the Fed have for that money being printed? The treasury bonds themselves. So basically, you finance the government by printing money out of thin air. Someone could ask, well, so if the government can print the limited amounts of money out of thin air, why did they collect taxes?
Why can't they pay reparations?
That's a beautiful question.
Why are they collecting taxes? It's a very simple question. Because it does not make sense. If you're printing money and paying for things,
why am I paying taxes, right? You can just print the tax money, right?
Print more money and do everything.
Just get on with it. Just get on with it. Yeah.
The scam is exposed.
Didn't Miami do the same thing with Miami Coin? And they were saying to the people that whatever they make from Miami Coin, they'll pay the taxes.
Yeah, this time
they'll pay the
right?
taxes. Yeah.
Because there are people, there are states and there are countries that are trying to find solutions for the community, for the people, because the people actually are the ones that actually govern. But it kind of flipped for some reason in America.
Yeah, so that was the last bull market, the old state coin situation, right? And that was the New York coin and Miami coin. sucks. I
Right.
lost a lot of money on that because my Miami coin will give you some stacks, and then your stacks can get converted to Bitcoin on the OK Coin exchange. It was a perfect setup, man. I was bringing in that money.
Yeah.
But-
SEC stepped on OK Coin's neck. Which is also another thing. If you just look at how much they have destroyed the crypto environment in America over the past years, so sad.
And they say that they are protecting the retail investor.
Yeah.
Here's the fact. Without
I
the
think-
IRS as a country, as a state, we can still run. Because people by nature are community based. Everybody wants to play their part.
So let me ask you a question, because I love how you made that statement. So what does any community or country need to have a successful country? What are the right ingredients?
Good economics, good products and services. Once those circulate, right? People are talking about capital flight. You ain't doing shit. That's why capital is flying away. If you're doing shit, like what you see in Dubai and what you see what's going on with El Salvador now, where everybody's going there and they have a tax-free zone, right? When you have goods and services being produced, right? As a service provider, around my business, it's my duty to provide for my customer and for my community. Part of that could be a community-based transaction system like we do in our neighborhood. We have a fall party. Everybody contributes whatever X amount of money that they can afford, and we throw a party for all the kids in the neighborhood. That's how taxes were. Like, we know the bridges are down. Let's fix the bridges. That is how it's done in Africa, right?
Yes. So what a community would need to grow is productivity. And that ownership aspect of things is super important.
Yeah.
Having
America
that ability
first.
to own your own wealth, own your own money, and be able to decide what you want to do with your money. Not the bank deciding what you can do with your money or not. You need that. You need productivity. And I think when you have those two things, and the society naturally works towards their own common
Good
goals. Yeah, their own common good.
You're
right?
not over here waiting for China
Exactly.
to import goods to you so that you can use it.
Exactly.
Import your own, like.
And like you were saying, that's how it is in Africa. I'll give you guys some examples of how that materialized or how I saw that play out in my own life, right? Stealing is not an African thing, like we were talking to Jimo last time, okay? And I'll prove it to you. Yes, there are people who are thieves, but stealing, as we see stealing in America, when there's riots, people go out and loot and take Nike and everything. It is not an African thing. You see, when there is, first of all, if you get caught stealing in most African countries, you are better off with the police taking you. You are better off for the police to get to you first, okay? Because you will be killed on the spot. And this is not even, you know what I mean? I've seen this type of things with my own eyes.
Yeah.
The moment you do something like that, hey, just know that this could be the end of days for you. So it is not an African thing to begin with. Back in the days when I, we did work I was working with my mother, right, at her store. I was pretty much running the store by myself. I would leave the store to go out and get supplies for the store or buy new materials and things like that.
By the way, at the age of 9.
Yeah, this was like at the age of 9, 10 when I was doing this. I would leave the store. I will put a chair just in front of the doors of the store, right? I'll just put a chair there and I'll put a sign that says, hey, I'll be back. And I'll leave. If someone came through and they really needed some water, they will walk into the store and grab the water and they'll put the money on the chair. And they will leave. Now we have an open store with water and we have money sitting right there on the chair and no one is taking it.
With no cameras,
right?
No surveillance.
Why is that? There you go.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because, I don't live that far from a mosque, right? Actually, a few mosques, right? And in Brooklyn. And I recall one time, and I think it has to do with your energy as well. But I mean, I'm sure it's like a cultural thing there in Africa. But one day I was with a friend picking up something at a store nearby, and then I went into this other store, and the mosque bells, the call to mosque started, and literally, the shop owner, he literally hands me and my friend a machete type thing and says, "Here, I gotta go pray. Watch my store." I was just like, "What the heck?" He I know this person Adam, but I mean, I guess I looked, kind enough, and I literally stayed there until he finished praying and came back. Gave him back his machete. It's the most crazy thing, though. But
Absolutely.
you can't really do that, because people will take from you. It's crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think this is what allows a society to prosper. Like you're asking.
Let's see what the viewers are saying.
Yeah, let's look at some comments here, and then Sal, I think you're about to say something.
Yeah, I was going to reference that comment. A community needs trust and integrity first and foremost. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely agree with that. Because that kind of creates an infrastructure, it creates a fabric of when you have that trust and integrity there, then you can move a little bit differently. You can move a little bit more freely. When everybody understands that those are the basic tenets.
We should expand on that, because if you ask us right now, do you trust your politician? Do you trust your police? Do you trust your legal system? Do you trust even your pastor? We don't have that anymore.
We don't.
To your point,
churches get a curriculum now.
Last night I was listening to, again, 19 Keys and Vaughn. His name is from TMZ. He's amazing. You remember his last name. And it was called The American Requiem, Brink of Collapse, and the Truth. But the conversation was deep because it was talking about how powerful community is. So Vaughn basically was tracking back his roots. And I think he's from Baton Rouge or Louisiana. And he said that, he's been so here in the East, in New York. But when he went back home, he said he remembered a neighbor knocking on the door and went inside and was like, "Mama, you got any fish?" And he was like, "Why they ask me for fish?" He was because his mother they would go fish and they'll bring fish back and they'll keep it, in the freezer. But because they had community, he said that his mother said, "What's wrong with you? Go get that boy 5 pieces of fish and go give it to him." And he said he realized how powerful community was, and that it wasn't about them going to go fish to get fish. It was like, I have it. Go take 5 pieces and go feed your home. It was so powerful last night when I heard it, because I know when we really even in Trinidad, they leave their doors open when it comes to carnival and celebration, when it comes to Christmas and when it comes to New Year's, and everyone's just coming next door and they're just feasting in pure abundance. That's community, man. There's no lack.
That actually reminds me when I was a child, when I went to the village, and my grandpa, I think it's not my immediate grandpa, but I'll call him grandpa.
One of your grandpas.
Yeah, one of my grandpas. Exactly right. Community. Exactly right. One of my grandpas. Right.
But that's actually very true. Evident, because if you notice, actually, a lot of times when amongst the African community, like most of the time when Kenny and I go somewhere, I'm more likely to say, "Hey, Kenny's my brother," than to say, "Oh, well, this is Kenny. We're friends or we're business friends." It's my brother. Period. All Africans do this, right? And then the silly thing is, if I'm saying this to an African, they understand instantly because they can go, we know that they're not related, but yes, they're brothers. But in America, it's like, are you guys really, really, really brothers? And then I'm like, God damn, I gotta see kind of freaking explain this to you. But that's because of that sense of community. It's like, you're my brother, you're my sister,
brother's keeper,
and
my
we'll
sister.
treat you with the same level of love and care for each other.
Love,
right? The same understanding, like Nicole is pointing out in the comments. And of course, there is a morality that comes with it. Having those same values as a community is a very powerful thing. These things are not really strange things, because it is because of these same things which we have in us naturally. This is why we create something like the BK community and the Stakk community coming together, trying to help people. It is the same thing. That is why we're doing it, because we're sitting around and we're looking at everything and we're like, okay, well, this is, first of all, this is a massive opportunity that we see happening in our lifetime right now. Some stuff that we've never ever. I mean, Jesus Christ, when was it? When was the last Bitcoin? There's never been another one.
When was the last time you invest in something and it goes up 20-30%? Not in 1 year, in 1 day.
Exactly. And most people will not do it because if you look at the environment, everyone is going, well, you have to go get a license. You have to go speak to a certified whatever in Wall Street.
CPA.
Yeah, all these
That's
things,
what they
right?
want to have. That's interesting.
Level
Exactly.
6 certified.
And
but we've been fed that institutionally. Remember,
Exactly.
Again, we've been fed that we must go to the experts and not understand that when we dig deeper within, we are the experts ourselves. You know, when we understand that things are simple. When you say, you know what, even recently we're talking about. I'm in the program with Journey to Wealth, and we're talking about your net worth and budgeting. And I'm on a budgeting fast, a spending fast. But in that, she goes over the net worth calculator. And the thing about our beautiful people is that because we've been so, what's the word? Bamboozled mentally, right? A lot of women, and we go in this age thing that they didn't want to look at their actual net worth because some didn't have it. Some felt like, I don't want to see what I have or don't have. Is a level of avoidance, right? Again, that was created. And then it was also about, wow, I don't really understand what investing, to Kim's point, I don't even know what investing is. I don't even know what saving is. Like, this is foreign stuff. You're telling me I should buy something, but what does it actually mean? Because all I know even culturally is to save. And honestly, when you think about saving versus investing, what is the point of saving? It doesn't move, it doesn't grow. But that's a mindset, right? I'm saving my time. I'm budgeting my energy, which is good, but then are you elevating at the same time? So when you think about the wealthy and you think about budgeting and forecasting, and when you think about investing, what do you really want to create? And if you save, are you going to get there? Or if you invest, it's going to grow. So these are the things that I know that we talk about as a team, Bkcrypto and Stakk, but I think it's what empowers us is getting to the root of things when we want to actually empower our community, because there is a deep wound in those areas of wealth and value too.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things.
Ansel, before you go, just one moment. Just give me a second here. Just had to drop that in there. You know what I mean? Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
So I remember around the time when COVID hit, so many people were like, "Oh yes, we're getting this $1,200." And granted, yes, we needed it. Number one. Number two, we should have gotten a shitload more. But we know what that story is. But what I talked to people about was, hey, this money is not free. We are going to pay for it in the future. Oh, whatever. Okay. So here we are a couple of years later. This is why we see the level of inflation we have. This is why we see that level, because
and I'll add these levels of inflation we're seeing is not from natural market activity
forces. No,
Right.
no, right, because natural market forces, inflation is baked into the cake about 2 to 3% per year, right?
Yeah,
that's natural forces.
I would like to disagree with that statement.
What's that
statement?
That this is not part of the natural market forces.
It's not part of natural market forces.
The reason why it is,
they do. Yeah,
we destabilized the currency flow so much that it's now having a direct and indirect impact. Here's why. We'll come right outside of COVID, right? A lot of money printed to give all these institutions. The institutions did not turn around and give it to their employees.
Right.
They did not turn around and innovate, right? They turn around and put it into, guess what? Treasury bonds for higher interest rates. Federal Reserve said, oh, I'm going to get ya. Let me start increasing interest rates. Guess who pays for it? Everybody. The banks start shutting down because they packed all that big fat money in treasury bonds with low interest rate yields, whereas the real interest rates were going up. Banks shutting down. When banks shut down, it impacts businesses. In the process of dealing with just that move, we now want to fight stupid as war with Russia over, of course, you guys know, natural resources. America wants to sell the electricity to Europe. They don't want Europe buying from Russia. It's that simple, guys. Stop watching CNN and MSNBC for all the nonsense. It's that simple.
Everything
we want those resources. We don't want Russia selling it.
Wait, hang on. How is this natural? How is this a natural market?
Yeah,
force?
and
These are all market. This is macro markets.
It's not markets.
Because let me explain.
It's manipulation, right?
The market
Right.
is manipulated.
No.
That's what we're saying. I agree. This is all manipulation. They've manipulated it in this way.
Wait, hang on. Natural market force. I thought natural market force would be like, okay,
demand and supply.
When I say natural market force, right? To me, it means that okay, we see that Apple is performing amazingly this year, or we see that Tesla is performing amazingly this year. They have released some vehicles. It's cheaper than others, maybe using better materials and things like that, right? They're selling a ton of cars. However,
the price of Tesla is going down.
The price of Tesla is going down, and then it's being shorted and shorted. And if anything is happening to drive that market down, or like during the Super Bowl when they straight up just came out with this slander ad against
2 or 3 of them.
Did you guys see that? I was like, what the hell? That is not natural market force. Natural market force, to me at least, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's like, okay, Tesla is doing well. They're selling a lot of cars. So now when earnings comes out, that will be reflected there, and then in turn that will be reflected in the
price
value of the stock. Right?
Yes, that's natural. That is right. But those actions now impact. That money now impacts that natural market force, and now that natural market force has been destabilized.
But see where that changed with that,
Kenny,
because remember initially during COVID, what was the first industry to crash? The airline industry.
The shipping industry too as well.
Shipping, right.
Yeah.
That was natural, right? Because everyone is locked down.
Right. But what was unnatural was the amount of money that was given to them. That was unnatural. Because think about it, taxpayers during that time needed it most, and we got the least. It was the corporate. We only got about $900 billion worth of that $5 trillion.
It's 2008. It's 2008 all over, man. Are you surprised, man? And that is why we have Bitcoin. That is why we have Bitcoin. You can't print that shit up anyhow.
Have you ever heard that the fact they said that during COVID, right? They printed a third of all the money ever printed in history. A third.
Yeah.
Like that. That right there is staggering. You print a third of all the money ever made was done in 1 year.
But inflation is transitory. Oh, it's only transitory.
That's insane.
What does transitory inflation even mean?
That's insane, man. Like, so it's.
I think,
by the way,
I think when we go to school and they teach us these economic things, it's a lot more simpler than it is, than they make it seem. You printed more, which caused the inflation, and then you raised the rates too fast, and this is where we are. This is where we find ourselves.
They use verbiage and like jargon to kind of confuse the average. Exactly. Like even like on Wall Street, right? They use certain terminologies to kind of scare you, right? I mean,
that money printing.
They always use those words to make it seem a bunch of words to make some so simple look so complicated.
Yep.
So can I pose a question? So as we're discussing this, and we're about solutions, and I say solutions, SOLUTION, right? The solutions. If we had to give a solution in the form of a fifth grader speaking to the community, those who are advanced, those who are not knowledgeable, those who are still understanding financial literacy, based on the conversations that we had overall, the pieces to the pie to equal the whole, what are some of the tips or points that you would give to the community now to help them leverage itself, understanding how we broke down some of the system, understanding that we are in one of the the largest wealth transfer in our life, a golden age? What are some of the things that you would give to the community to help them really benefit from this time?
Can I go first on this one? Because you already know me, man. I'm coming through a renegade answer.
Okay. All right, Kenny.
I'll go next. I'll go next afterwards.
He want problems.
By the way, can you pop that? I want trouble real quick.
I want problems.
Hey, Kenny, cue him. He want problems today.
Yes. I want problems today. Actually, yes. Maybe this is an appropriate time to play this. Let me see. I need to turn on B1. Okay, before I answer this question, okay, just listen to this here. Okay.
I don't want peace. I want problems. Always.
Amazing. Okay. Well, this is what I would say. This is what I'll provide as a solution. Oh, stand by.
That'll be a nice, interesting background sound.
Yeah, we probably turn off B1 too, so that we're not double. Yeah. Oh, that is a nice background. Okay, let me give you guys my solution. This is not just solution, it's solution. So this solution should be touching your soul. First of all, I want to point it out to you that based on this conversation we've been having, we have outlined how you are being scammed. We have outlined how you're being manipulated, and we've outlined how you've been losing over the past existence of your life. No offense. 2. But don't take it personally. It's okay. We were also losing too, because for me personally as well, you know what I mean? I did not know these things until I put in the effort to start learning it. If I had not put in the effort to start learning it, then I would still be in the same place. But now that we are informed, the worst thing we can do, and the thing that is always on my conscience all the time, is not being able to enlighten another person to start realizing what these things are. So you can start thinking about these things differently. This is why, and I think that everyone on this live right now would agree with me. This is why we go out of our way. We don't have to do any of this stuff. We don't have to. Well, I have a job, man. I can just work my normal job and just move on with my life. I'm sure most of us here are the same way. But we go out of our way to make sure that we teach the next person. So this is why we have set up a community. We have the BK community. You can go to bkcryptocoach.com and you see what we have going on there. You can book a free 15-minute session. It is important because we want to make sure that people at least come in and ask about what is it we are doing.
Ask about us.
Because we have prepared a way to enlighten people on these things, because everybody needs to know about this one way or another. I know someone could listen to this thing and go, shameless plug. What else am I going to do? It's like, come on. But that is one of the biggest ways I would say, right? I'll say it's a great solution for people to start understanding these things. Understanding where you're being cheated, understanding where the manipulation is happening, where you are positioned as well in the whole ecosystem of this shenanigans that is going on. And then how can you move differently to ensure that no matter what, you have, first of all, you have a higher level of education on the financial side of things, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. This is also another area that needs to change, because when you find out that you've been manipulated for so long, I don't think that you could just adjust and just keep moving on like nothing ever happened.
You've been destroyed for most of your life, man.
Exactly.
You need counseling.
Exactly. So to me, it comes back to community. Finding the right group of people that are thinking in the same way and moving in that same direction, so that you can learn as quickly as possible. Because if you wanted to do it the way that we did it, all you're gonna, is losing money, rock pools, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? We've all experienced it, but we know that the whole community does not need to get rock pooled and lose money in order to liberate themselves from this financial slavery that we are living through. That's just the reality of it as well.
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
Since we're both on the same screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
You go to school 12 years of your life, and then you spend a couple more for either a graduate degree or undergraduate degree, for them to keep you in that mental state that they want you to be in.
Yeah.
I'll repeat. You are in a system. They call it the matrix. A lot of people call it the matrix. And you are brought up in that matrix. As a matter of fact, the moment you are born, you actually own a debt to the system, because the current system have borrowed so much money into the future that new babies are coming out so probably $80,000 at this point.
Yeah, on average.
Just for breeding, right? What we're trying to tell you now is that it's about time you start self-educating. The way you self-educate is not through the system. It's through you picking up a book, being part of a community, and learning what life is about, what your real life rights are. Your money is your money. It does not belong to a third institution to tell you how to spend that money. You can create value. How do you store that value? When you start learning how to self-educate, you start finding out that that is actually how people create wealth. If you look at those Googles and Facebooks and Microsofts,
Correct.
they did not learn how to code at school. They learned how to code at home because of something they were interested in. They not created that value. But the problem is that not everybody is righteous. If you're a self-learner and you're self-learning like us, we're now taking and giving that education to you guys. Whereas some take that and they abuse it and then abuse the environment as well. So that's just what I want to say. It's a solution is self-educate, self-educate, and self-educate. But once you do get that knowledge though, do not abuse the environment, do not abuse people, add value. That's what I want to add.
Amazing. Incredible.
Yes, add the value and share the information with your friend, your neighbor, everybody. Many of us, you mentioned our learning experience, and I know most of us took a few months of like night and day researching Bitcoin and cryptocurrency before we felt comfortable investing in it. But that, you know, but that is necessary. The idea for establishing Bkcrypto, and I'm sure you guys establishing Stacks, was that we wanted to lessen that period of time that it takes for people to understand cryptocurrencies. We want to be that resource for people to come to and for them to, you know, be in alignment with us and everybody kind of grow together, you know, and as we navigate the space. So, you know, we are here for questions and support. We support each other every day within the community. So the whole idea isn't that you go and you're alone. It's like you go together and learn and grow in the space.
That's saying that say if you want to go far, go together.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. If you want to go fast, go alone.
Go alone.
Yeah.
I would say definitely. I think it's now time for us to question everything. Because for too many, I think there's a reason why is that we haven't questioned everything. We've been living a life, we just didn't question it. We went like autopilot, right? When you question things and you start seeing things for what it really is, your mind's gonna shift, right? So, and that's the whole thing Kimberly was saying. The fact that we've been in this space for a while, we've gone through the pitfalls, and now we could explain to you why the system is so important to be part of, right? And it's about time, because something that we have to, I think each one of us as people understand this is a paramount time. This is an opportunity that doesn't come around like often. So we got to take it and learn. And also you really can't be afraid to learn. You have to want to learn this thing.
Yeah.
It takes some time, but once you learn it, your mind shifts permanently. It never goes back.
That's the incredible thing about it. Never seen an asset that changes your mind.
Changes everything.
Yeah.
Just to back up what Dylan is saying is find the things in life that increases in value, right? Education can only increase in value. Things like Bitcoin increases in value because of all everything is community based. Everything wrapped around it. Those are the most important and crucial places and spaces to go into, because I remember when Uniswap came out. Uniswap was with their coin. They were, trading, not trading, but their coin was, their network was out, their exchange was out, their decentralized exchange was out for about a year before they released their coin. And they built up that community so well that by the time they released their coin, everybody flourished. I think that was a $10,000 to $15,000 airdrop. So community is strong, and find those communities that bring value to your life. And I think when sometimes people think value means money, no, it doesn't mean money. Value is just that intangible that you can't touch, but you know and you feel it, that it's increasing wherever space you are in life, right? And that's why we're here in crypto. We see the value, and we're here trying to show everyone else the value. And again, it's not the dollar signs. It's the unlearning. It's helping us to unlearn and showing us solutions for the first time in so many different ways, so many different platforms that you could use to do different things. And in particular, Bitcoin, where is the solution for the first time, where you have a separation between the state and money. For the first time, we have something here to build on top of, to create whatever we want that's very secure. And it's a separation between the state and money. Every place else there's money or anything, even gold, it's government control. And that's
absolutely. Well, listen, Roshana, that was a very powerful question, but and I would like to get your take on that as well before we wrap it up here. I know we're coming up, well, we're already at past an hour now, but before we get your response to it, I just want to dive into the comments here. Let's look at what Nicole Solomon was saying, and I think she's very in line with what we are saying here. She says a lot of people are stuck in the matrix. It's a big split, right? Between, I'm assuming that's what it means, a big split between the people in the matrix and people who recognize what we recognize. It's almost like 3D versus 5D, right? She also goes on to say that once there is no government, because it means governing no one's mental. And that's what they have been doing since the existence of mankind. Pieces of shiznite. You know what I say to this? I feel that Nicole is on the same page with me. This is what Nicole wants.
Peace. I want problems always.
That's right. Incredible stuff there. Right. Well, listen, it is very true. And I think that these people have definitely been governing people's minds forever, because there is one thing that I read somewhere, was when I was reading some strange Japanese authors, and it says order is spontaneous. So even if there is no governing body like people think that we need, people have the capability
to self-govern,
to respect each other and self-govern. Exactly. Right.
Unbank yourself.
Right. Now, with no further ado, before we wrap this up, okay, let's head over to the financial soul healer to hear her thoughts.
The solution.
What will be your solution?
I love you guys.
Yeah.
To all your points, the solution. It's not going to be easy when you are pretty much relearning things, right? As we discussed, where you realize that something is not fitting or matching up because it's no longer feeding your soul. When you start to realize something's not feeding your soul, then you must understand truly what feeds your soul and understand that value. That is first. Second is no man's an island, right? Their community is so crucial in this time, because when you think about how we actually really vibrate as a community, as a people first, we've always moved in community. We don't know what individualism is. That's not in our DNA. I was just at a retreat, Spiritual Ascension University, and Professor Melody made a statement that was keen, because I know that we have anxieties. I know that we're feeling depressed. I know that we have financial traumas. But here's the truth. When you start identifying who you are, we are melanated. When she talked about what melanated is on the market as a gram being sold, I think she said something about 90,000 melanin grams equates to 40 million. If you could just understand that concept, that you already are worth 40 million and that you are valuable, it sets precedence of your energy, and you really start to connect with people who are vibrating on that level. Number 3, educate yourself. That intuitiveness that's guiding you and fighting between the matrix 3D and your higher self, find truth in that, because that actual feeling is going to direct you to the right community that is about authenticity, integrity, morality. trust, right? When we think about number 5, really sit down and ponder or what you want to create in your life, you start realizing that your 9 to 5 is really not where you want to be. And when you start thinking about the evolution of life, of money, you start realizing that the place that we're in now is no mistake, because the only thing that is constant is change. And the only way we can actually really grow is to evolve. And that start in itself will ignite that flame in you to take back your power. So when you can sit on that and realize that we are in a paradigm shift, and that even the noises that are in your head, you might have to fight through, know that you are truth. You are divine, and you require abundance because that is who you are. So find the communities that are sitting in your truth, that resonate with what you know, not believe, but what you know. And know that we are here to support you, to elevate you in this time. Because the largest wealth transfer is happening now, but the next transfer, we might not be alive. But see, the truth is this, as I finish. What we're doing now is planting seeds, not just for ourselves, but it's for generation to generation to generation to generation to generations, legacy. And that legacy is not just I, it is we. I'm complete.
Well said. That is so powerful.
So
powerful. Okay. And actually, I would like to take this opportunity to bring up something that I said before we started the stream, and something that I would like for us to touch on our next stream. If we don't touch on it on our next stream, then it will probably be the one after that. And it is strong, independent women and why they don't own Bitcoin. I know.
You want more problems?
Listen, brother. Okay, I did not come here for peace. Listen, everything that Roshana just said there. Okay, and let me tell you why I'm saying this. Okay, if you look at our generation right now. Okay, I remember there was just this point of time when it was almost like you have this crusade of women going, "I don't need no man. I can do it by myself. I don't need no man. I can do it by myself." Men are, that does not sound like community. That does not sound like we. You cannot obtain legacy by yourself.
National media sold that to us.
Okay, so that concept needs to stop, because I will tell you this right now. It is putting our community in a place where a lot of people are single and everyone thinks that they can do it by themselves.
Exactly.
But that is just not the way. That needs to stop.
We're not meant to be like this.
Men don't need to be battling women and women battling men. We are supposed to be operating as a community.
As a unit. Well said.
I understand that sometimes when I introduce the idea, I come at it from a very jagged edge.
That's a song for that too.
There's a song for that. I understand that I come at it from a jagged edge, but that's just the way that I want to communicate it to the people. Okay, so thank you all very much.
Viewers, watch out for that next one. You got to be there.
Listen, man, violence is in everybody's future. No peace.
That's violence, boy.
Okay. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, check it out, man. If you're watching this after, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, I have a last word to say. Just quickly summarizing what Sharon was saying. Like,
okay,
we need to, as a people, we need to seek getting back our soul, because a lot of foreigners that have come to America will tell you, seems like everything in America is just chasing after money.
Yeah, it's nonstop, man.
And from what you see, from what President Bkcrypto from El Salvador just told us, which you all need to know, is that money that you're chasing after is just a concept. It's paper.
It's fake.
Get your soul back.
There's more to life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get your soul back. Financial soul.
Definitely. All right. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, head on over to bkcryptocoach.com. You can book a free 15-minute session to speak with any one of us, depending on which direction you want to go. Crypto coaching, trading, Bitcoin. If you just want straight Bitcoin knowledge, we are in there. If you want financial soul healing, to unveil the madness that has been plastered before your eyes, which you cannot see, okay? Miss Roshana Bennett is there ready to help you out as well in a very unique manner as well, because it combines Listen, these people are not ready, man. These people are not ready. Sometimes you just go around here in America. It's like white people's food, man. There's no season.
No filter today.
What did this guy?
Oh shit! Listen.
That's supposed to be our black secret, man. Don't be out here telling it all.
Life has changed, boy. I'll tell you that much.
Shit, listen, well, here's what I'll say. I've given you people one of the black secrets. We need somebody out there to give us one of the white secrets. Not that we think. Actually, GPT is giving away their secrets.
Oh,
not GPT, that OpenAI, the Gemini one. Yeah. Google is racist. I'm saying this again. Anyhow.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Listen, man. I know that somebody somewhere is probably gonna come one day to cancel me. I will be ready. I'll be ready. You may want to be careful, because in the process of canceling me, you might cancel yourself and your whole family, because you will then find out that all of you are exactly the things that we are talking about here. So tread cautiously.
Those are called triggers.
Thank you. You see, I am pulling all of the triggers, Roshana. I want to see which one will go off.
I'm about to get flagged on YouTube right now.
Because here's the thing as well. Okay, sometimes you might think that there is these things that are triggers. Think of it. It's what did they call it? I'll give you. I don't know the name of the story, but it's like the elephant is chained to the tree for so many years.
Yep.
And then they unchain the elephant, and the elephant does not realize that it's free to go away. All these things that we are worried about that will offend people or trigger people.
Talk about it.
At a certain point, it is just now settled on your mind, and you will never ever talk about it again, because you are saying it's the same thing. Like they say, you cannot talk about politics in school. You cannot talk about religion. Why? Why can we not talk about the people that are taking actions that are affecting our life?
Question
those people, I will talk about those people everywhere. Because when they make those decisions, it affects our life everywhere. It's not affecting your life only when you are not in school or when you're not in a workplace. Especially at work, man. I want to talk about religion.
Man, this is about to be a 2-hour conversation.
No, the conversation is ending right now. It's ending right now. We're ending the stream right now. I just had to drop a little rant before we go.
Guys, this is going to be so much fun. Please be back for the next one.
Listen, Nicole.
Are we doing this every Saturday?
Nicole, we can do this every Saturday. Sorry, Nicole is backing me up as well. So you got to come back next time, Nicole. We'll actually add you onto the show if you like to. Okay. Nicole says never that. They will cancel them. She will cancel them her damn self. Cancel their asses my damn self. They don't want no smoke. They want no smoke. They don't even want
problems.
They don't even want the vapor or the spark.
Yeah,
if you see smoke, it's too late. Okay, it's
Shout
over.
out to Nicole for standing in your power. Thank you, sis. She's
listen.
a spiritual She's a spiritual fashionista, by the way. And when she comes on next week, she talks about how she wove the fabric of cloth to actually heal and inspire people. Nicole Solomon. Powerful.
Oh, wow. Sounds like she was making clothes for Jesus, man. What is she making her clothes out of?
Amen.
I kid. Let me get up here. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I want to say, man. You might be thinking that, you might be thinking that we are just in this place where we cannot be in a better state than we are right now. The light is here. We are winning. We just need to get up and embrace it. You understand? So that's all I'll say. As I mentioned, be sure to check out Bkcrypto Coach. Okay, we don't have our Stakk website completed yet, but it is coming through. It's going to be looking extremely beautiful. And but you can find us on the Stakk Fin. What is it? X on X as Stakk Fin. Okay, we're also on Spotify as Stakk, and of course here on YouTube as Stakk as well. Like the video, share it with your friends. Let's see what Nicole is saying before we roll out. She says, love you, Roshana. More people need to know about you guys. This was dope. You see, I love to hear that.
Thank you.
Thank you. What did they call this thing again? Namaste.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Like, share, subscribe, share with your friends.
Exactly. Okay. Like the video, share with your friends. Also subscribe to the BK YouTube channel. You guys also have your YouTube channel up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There we go.
Bkcrypto store right now.
Yes, there's also the BK Crypto Score where you guys have some merch.
Next
what is that
time.
website?
Well, no, the YouTube channel is Bkcrypto.
Okay, BK Crypto. Okay, well, but what about the merch site? We need we need that as well.
Well, they'll find that when they go to bkcryptocoach.
Bkcryptocoach. Okay.
Yep. Next Saturday, maybe we just pop it up on the screen and show them all the nice, cool, fancy,
it makes sense.
fancy clothes and stuff like that.
There we go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been absolutely spectacular hanging out with you all this Saturday. Okay, drink some water, eat your vegetables. Okay, go and study Bitcoin. Otherwise, you will be left behind. And if you're left behind, you'll be a peasant, and you'll be only the one to blame for it. Until next time, Brazen out.
Double O.
Sayonara.
Hey.